I'm going to go ahead
Okay.
and hit record.
Okay.
Did you want to go through roll? Do you want me to go through roll?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. I think the first one is what? Elliot Diaz? Is he here?
Is Elliot here?
Elliot here.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Elliot. Great.
Elliot.
All right.
Next one
Elliot, where are you from?
From Dallas, Texas.
What, Texas?
Oh, from Dallas, Texas.
Kyle? Okay.
Are we doing what? Are we just asking them where they're from? Or are we going to ask them favorite cartoon too? Or
Yeah, how about that?
give everyone time to think about their favorite cartoon first, maybe? Do you have a favorite cartoon in mind, Elliot, by any chance?
You can type it too if you're having trouble with your mic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Tom and Jerry. Sounds good. I haven't seen that one in a long time.
It was Elliot. The next person is Leslie, who's on the roll.
I'm here.
All right.
Where's Leslie?
So I think we've got 2 questions now. Where are you from, and what is your favorite cartoon?
It's dog.
From here, Austin. I don't have a favorite cartoon.
And where are you from?
Austin.
Austin?
Yes.
And the next one is Christopher.
My name is Chris. I'm from Austin, and my favorite cartoon would be like SpongeBob, right? Yeah, SpongeBob. Yeah.
And Michael Johnson's the next one.
Favorite cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you from? And
I'm from Austin, by the way.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Favorite cartoon? I guess more recent favorite cartoons would be like Ghost in the Shell. And yeah, I guess, yeah.
That was Michael. The next one is Olivia. Is there an Olivia around?
Olivia.
Going once, going twice. No Olivia Johnson. Okay. So Hunter Knox, I think, is the next one.
Hunter?
Yeah, he was here. I thought I saw him.
There we go. Hello? Is it working now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm from Round Rock, and my favorite cartoons are Avatar: The Last Airbender and My Hero Academia.
Oh, wow.
Where is that? Hunter. The next one is Letitia.
Hi. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I don't have a favorite cartoon.
Also, Leticia, I noticed that you did not have an ACC ID email on your. Have you created an email yet?
I think I did.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on that because I noticed that it wasn't on there yesterday, but hopefully it's on there today.
And who's the next? August is the next one.
I'm from Wimberley, and I don't have a favorite cartoon.
y'all not like watch cartoons as kids? It doesn't have to be your favorite. It's got to be like something.
Like to watch.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like the number one. You don't have to get that picky. But I know y'all know cartoons. Okay. Who is that? Let's see. August, is that Jennifer will be next. Jennifer. Jennifer Murillo. No, Jennifer Murillo. The next one is Bree Rodriguez. Bree's there.
I'm from Austin, and I don't really watch cartoons.
Okay.
Oh, man. Who's next after Bree? Gabriella?
Yes. I'm from Austin, and I like SpongeBob. I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah.
Oh,
We heard you.
Okay.
thank you.
Mhm.
All right. So X stands for Xavier. Is it Xavier or Javier? Which one do you go by?
Xavier.
Xavier? Okay.
And then my favorite cartoon is Dragon Ball Z.
You know, I'm so old. It shows how old I am because some of these I don't even know what they are.
Yeah,
You know?
there's a lot of anime, and I'm like kind of surprised. I watched a little bit, not a whole lot. We just did X. I was getting confused with that username. It's like X. It's like, is that a person or not? An unknown quantity. Chelsea is the next one.
All right. I'm from New York, Brooklyn, New York, and my favorite cartoon would be Hey Arnold.
Nice.
So when did you move down here, Chelsea? Are you
I moved out here a few years ago. Yeah, my dad's in the Army, so
yeah,
been around.
I was born in Niagara Falls, New York, but I made it
nice.
as quick as I could. My dad's Air Force, so I get it.
Awesome.
Okay, that was Chelsea. The next one is Dakota.
Y'all can call me Cody if you want. I really don't care. And I guess Dragon Ball Z. I'm from Austin too.
Do you want to go next, Miss Watson, or do you want me?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm Lisa. You can call me Lisa, or you can call me Miss Watson, or you can call me Professor, or whatever you want to call me is fine with me, even though I'm old enough to be most of y'all's mother, I'm sure. But I've been in Austin for a long time, and I haven't watched cartoons in a long time, but I have a favorite comic because I have sons. I don't know if had y'all ever read Zits in the comic pages. That's my favorite comic.
And I'm Matthew, Mr. Severs, Professor Severs. Pretty much like whatever you want to say, as long as it's not mean. You could probably pretty much call me it and get by with it. I'm from like all over Texas, basically. I like grew up in Goliad, moved to Bryan College Station area, Huntsville. I got my graduate degree in Texas State, so moved all over Texas. But I've been in Austin since about like 2012, I guess. Past 8 years, I've been in Austin area. Favorite cartoon? Oh man, I think I'm just gonna say this because I just like had it on last night in the background. But Tiny Toons was a good one. No one said Looney Tunes, so I couldn't like counter that with the Tiny Toons example though. So I don't know. Looney Tunes is a good one too. I watched a lot of Looney Tunes. Okay. I guess if there's no questions about cartoons or where we're from, I think maybe it might be time to get into the syllabus. And so I've set things up in Blackboard. Hopefully you've taken a look at Blackboard a little bit maybe. But everything is kind of set up in Blackboard. for this course. If you look at the top is the Zoom link for this classroom, so it looks like y'all probably found that. All the class
Matt,
documents.
do you want me to show them as you're talking where all these are?
I guess I could share my screen too. Huh?
Okay.
Okay. No, what do I want to do? Well, that's fine because I don't have grades in here. Right? Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, if you look over here, and I could probably even enter student preview. This is probably what it's going to look like from your perspective. When you get here, here's the Zoom links for the classroom. If you want the syllabus is over here. The lecture notes are going to be here, homework worksheets. So for this course, there are 2 textbooks. This is the first textbook for the 0414 part is called Marichek. The one for the algebra part is called Roxwald. And so I'm just kind of showing you where this is. We're about to go over the syllabus, and it might start making more sense why there's so many different links. But I'm just trying to show you where the links are. So if you want to submit an assignment, this is how we're going to submit our homework assignments. This is going to be where we submit our test assignments. I believe there's a practice assignment in here. There's like a trial run. So if you want to try submitting an assignment before you actually have to do one for a grade, you can do some practice here. I don't know. It's just a fun little link. I guess definitions of fun may vary, but there you go. There's a little link there. And so that's going to be how we submit stuff. If you want to watch the lecture video or the class video, the video links will be here. These are linking to like a YouTube link that's, I guess, my account for YouTube. So click like, subscribe, all the good stuff they always say whenever they're trying to promote themselves. Do all that good stuff if you want to. You can also leave comments on the video if you're watching the video and you don't know what the heck's going on. You can always try to leave comments. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Stop share, I think is what I want to do. Okay. And I want to go to my Droid cam. Let's see. And you probably want to maybe spend like a minute like trying to figure out this Zoom stuff if you haven't figured out Zoom already. It's a bit different, but there are different views you can put people in, and you can pin and unpin videos by clicking them. So if you click on my video, it will actually bring up my screen on there. I don't know if that's what it's bringing up automatically, because I think it automatically tends to adjust to whoever is talking if you don't pin a video. Does everyone see what I have? Is it the syllabus? Okay. Is it visible, hopefully?
So can we make that bigger?
This?
Like I can see it, but it's just like up in the upper corner of the screen. It's not filling the whole screen.
If you double click on the screen, I think it will go to full screen.
Well, but it still doesn't show on the whole screen. It's just showing up in the little corner, even when I double click.
If you click and pin the video, it should show up on your screen, I believe.
How do you pin it again? Sorry, Matt.
You click on the screen with my name on it to pin it. And there's a way to do different views. There's a gallery view and there's a full screen view.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got it.
And that's up at the right. It looks like the Brady Bunch boxes versus like inner full screen.
Right.
Or speaker view.
Is everyone on full screen now?
You can alternate between, it's called gallery view and speaker view. And I believe what you want to do is go to the speaker view and then enter full screen, and you can actually get the syllabus should be coming up on the entirety of your screen. Is everyone, hopefully everyone is able to get this full screen on their computer. Anybody like trying to figure that out? And just like gonna throw this out there, I've been teaching for, God, now I gotta think. 2012 is when I started, got a message, okay. 2012 is when I started getting paid to teach people. I've been teaching people probably all my life, to be honest. Last semester was one of the first semesters I've ever taught stuff online. And I think the same thing for Miss Watson. Like, all this stuff is kind of a new experience for both of us. And so you're probably going to see us figuring a lot of stuff out as we go along. And so I don't know, tell you besides, thanks for your patience ahead of time. And if you work with us, I'm sure we'll be willing to work with you, sort of thing, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I've taught I taught high school, math, everything for 28 years. And then I retired and then I started working for ACC. And this is my 3rd year teaching for ACC. So, but this is absolutely my first time besides the summer and half of last semester that I've ever taught online. So
I guess let's jump into the syllabus. So this is Algebra Express. Hey, do you want to come teach this? Okay. I don't think he was down for that. So this is this is the syllabus. It's fall 2020. This is like all the information that if you're sitting in this classroom, you kind of already know, right? I always find it really funny when we go over this. So this is online. This is our Zoom room. This is our passcode. If someone like tries to hack in or something stupid happens, I guess we can always get a new room. But this is going to be it for the most part. You're taking basically 2 classes. You get 2 classes. You get 2 professors, and you only have to really go to 1 class, right? But we're here Monday through Thursday. We're going to be here for an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes. But when you're in college, an hour and 20 minutes is really an hour and a half. That's college math for you. I don't know what to tell you. 50 minutes is an hour, right? Is the way that they do it usually. So we get an hour and 20 minutes most days, and then we get an hour on Fridays. If you want to get a hold of Miss Watson, technically she's teaching the math 0414, and technically I'm teaching 1314. Technically is the key word there. Like if you ask us for help on anything, like we can help you on pretty much anything. And so they're kind of listed as 2 separate classes. So her part is the 0414 section 018 course synonym. If you need your course synonym, if you're going to the testing center, which we're probably not going to do because you're taking everything online. But typically when we're doing things in person, sometimes they need the course synonym for like testing center. So this is Miss Watson. This is her phone. I don't know. She might have to chime up about the best way to reach her.
My phone number is actually Google Voice, so feel free to use it at any time. I mean, I don't even care if you do it midnight. I won't answer it probably at midnight, but you're welcome to call or text anytime. It's a good way to contact me, and if you ever need help outside of class or office hours. So don't hesitate to use that number.
Okay. So she's got a number. She's got an email you can hit her up with. I have a number here. This is my ACC voicemail. I'm trying to think of how to say this. I would not try to reach me through this number. That's the way I would say that. I would not call that number personally. If you need to reach me, like, it is a lot quicker just to send me an email. I will see that email. That voicemail is like one of those things, like they require every professor to have a voicemail. So I have a voicemail and it's there. If you asked me the last time I checked it, to be honest, I wouldn't know. But with that said, if you need to get a hold of me, email me. I will hit you back as soon as possible. And then the other thing, I guess, is office hours. So we both have office hours, and they're both held in the Zoom classroom. So if you need to come by office hours, basically they're both 10 minutes after class. I'm here Monday, Wednesday. She's here Tuesday and Thursday. And so if you want to come by 10 minutes after class, we will have office hours, and we can talk about wonderful things. And so I don't know how many of you are like first time like college students, but personally, I was kind of a first time college student. My dad had some associate degree, but for the most part, like I was pretty much like figuring a lot of things out on my own. This syllabus is like one of the most important things to a class. It is the contract to your class, basically. And so this is what we have to hold people by. This is our standard that we hold people by. And I've seen it work kind of both ways. Sometimes it works in the professor's favor. We put a lot of things in the syllabus that are kind of what they call like cover your ass sort of things, right? We don't really think a lot of these things are going to happen, but worst case scenario, something bad happens, we want to be like insured for it, right? And so there's a lot of rules and there's a lot of stuff in the syllabus that I'm going to probably just kind of skim through because for the most part, it's not going to be something that pops up. It's kind of boring and dry sort of stuff. But I've also seen it work the other way. And if you're a student and your professor is doing something that's not in your syllabus or something that is against the syllabus, you can absolutely hold them accountable for those sort of things, right? They have to like kind of go by with what is in the syllabus and what they published at the beginning of the class. This is like your sort of contract with your professor, so to speak. It is like an agreement you have. Okay. So these things are kind of important to get through. And so this is a 7-hour course, as I was saying. Usually they're, 3 hours, but we put 2 of them together. And if you do college math, 3 plus 3 is 7 now, I think, something like that. So Math 1314, it gives you a brief description. This is probably like straight from the course catalog or something. Course rationale, this course is designed to teach you math, mathematical relationships, yada yada. This is kind of boring, sort of dry stuff, I feel like. So prerequisites. So hopefully you've met the prerequisites requirements if you're in this class. I know it has the developmental aspect, so there are different requirements since it does have that aspect to it. Instructional methodology. So obviously we're doing everything online. They give you a little link here if you want to click the link to figure out more frequently asked questions. And so what does it say? So I know we've converted everything online, but that's still like, I mean, I guess the gist of this is that like, you still need to take the same sort of like attitude towards your studies, right? I think is what they're kind of getting at here. We need you to actively participate in class. I'm going to be asking y'all a lot of questions, and you're going to have to like do some studying on your own before class. And if that sort of thing doesn't happen, then class is not going to flow very well, right? And so there's going to be a certain onus on you since this thing is online now, that like you're going to have to sort of get some of your own studying done on your own time, so to speak. And not only am I going to kind of depend upon you to do that, your classmates are also going to kind of depend upon you to do that too, right? So I'm not trying to put a lot of burden on you that it is the first day, not trying to overstress you, but like people are going to depend upon you, right? And we want you to be here. We want you to be active. We want you to be learning. Blah, blah, blah. Do it like an on-campus class. And so the other thing is there will probably be more gaps within the time that you have. If you're coming from like high school or something, we will give you a bit more slack than probably what you've had in high school. And so like, you know, just because someone's giving you slack doesn't always mean that you should, you know, pull it all the way, right? And so stay on top of things. I think that's a little less of a like issue in this class because you literally have to be here like every day, and you literally have to be doing something in this class every day. We're going to be pretty active in this class. It is 2 classes in one, so the pro of that is that you get 2 classes done at once. The con, I guess the con of that is that you have to be here quite often. But that con is really a benefit to you because you learn math better doing it every day. And I will put my money on people in this class over people in my other class. Don't tell them that. But like, y'all will learn this stuff a lot better doing it every day. I guarantee you. I see it, and I will know your names too. That's the other thing I really like about this class. I will get to know y'all's names. My other class, it's like, it depends how many people are in there. I may or may not know their name. You'll need to stay motivated. I know that's probably difficult with everything going on around you sometimes. But we'll try our best to stay motivated in here. Students who are going to use Blackboard. So we're using Blackboard to submit assignments. That said, I want to talk maybe a little bit about like the structure that I have intended for this class. No, I'll wait till I get to the calendar and then I'll talk a little bit about that. And so I've talked a little bit about there are 2 different textbooks. And so if you paid your student registration fees, like ACC has this thing called the first day access. So you should be able to access both of your books. The intermediate algebra or the merit check, that one is free. You can find it on Amazon. You can find a PDF of it to download that I've put up there. And what do I want to say? You shouldn't pay anything for this, but you also should not pay anything for this because you've already paid for it within your student fees. And so you should just be able to click on those links and they should open up. And you should have access, and you should be able to get access through Blackboard. If you're having a problem getting access to either of those, let me know. If you already have the algebra book and you want to opt out, that's also a thing you can do. And I believe there's instructions on that page to do that. And if there's not instructions and you need to know that, you can always send us an email and we'll try to figure that out. But there's an option to opt out if you've already bought the book. I think most of you are probably going to go with the first day access. It does kind of entrap you into like doing the first day access, but the first day access is cheaper than it used to be. So I will say that. Like, it is a cheaper option. Yeah. My math lab, we're not doing any lessons in my math lab. There are probably like lessons that you can do there if you feel like you need more practice or something. The only thing we're going to use my math lab for is to access the book. All we're doing is using it for access. We're not doing lessons there. So if you want to like look at the digital copy of the book, it's going to be through that my math lab portal probably. Okay, what's next? So I guess there's also a student solutions manual. That's the thing that's out there, I guess. Okay, so calculator. So you will probably want a scientific calculator, a business calculator for it. We're going to do logs that you're going to need it for, so that's something you'll need it for. You'll probably also need something that can do something with matrices. We're going to do stuff with matrices. But in all fairness, things have changed a little bit. There are certain programs you can also use to solve them. I know they used to check them out, but that's not really a valid option anymore, I guess. And I mentioned this in the lecture video that y'all haven't watched yet, but different calculators kind of do things differently. You're going to have to get adjusted to your calculator and how your calculator does things. Like, they don't all do order of operations the same. They make them all weird. I know personally how TI calculators work. The Texas Instrument, TI 82, the 83 or 84, I believe, is what I have. So I can tell you like how to do a lot of stuff on TIs. Other than that, I would have to personally look at your calculator and see what the heck it's doing. I wouldn't know without looking at it.
And can I just interject for a minute? I don't know if y'all have used Desmos, but it has a wonderful calculator and it's free and it's online. And so I would definitely recommend.
Do you know where that is?
You just desmos.com and just pull it up and it's right there. And it's so user-friendly, so easy to use.
I'll type in the word.
Desmos.com. DESMOS. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I already got this one. Yeah. Okay.
I typed it in the chat, the chat, so you'll have it. There's Desmos, and then the other one I like is like Wolfram Alpha. That's also another really good one that's free. If you want to get the app on your calculator, I think they might charge you like $3 or something.
There's a app on the App Store.
Personally, I use Desmos. I'm sorry, I think we were talking over each other. Did you say something?
Like you can just get it on your iPhone.
Yeah. They should have apps on the store. Personally, I use Desmos a lot when I do graphs. It's really good for graphing. Okay. So, what's that? Calculators. So, access to a webcam and mic are required for this course. So, check with us for details, I guess. I would like to see you active with the, I would personally like to see you like be a little active with the webcam and mic. I understand like not everyone has the same technology, and so like if you like are working around it, if we have to work around something, like we can always talk about that and work around it. So let us know what the deal is, and usually we can work with you on it. So for submitting homework, and this is kind of why I have that like trial run, just so you can kind of get used to these apps and all this crazy stuff we're trying to throw at you for the online course. There's a scanner thing called Genius Scan, and I would personally, from what I've seen, this is like the ideal sort of way to do it. You take a picture with your phone and it puts it all on one single PDF that you can submit to the submission part of the Blackboard. And so this Genius Scan app tended to work really well. There are other ways you can take pictures and convert it to PDF.
We don't want JPEGs. We don't. Yeah. We want one document.
It is not always the prettiest thing, and it's not the Genius Scan. Just like it's genius. I don't know what else to say. Like it saves a lot of heartache and a lot of hard time.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend it. It is free from what it says right there. I was pretty sure it's free yet. It is definitely free. Okay. So attendance is important. Daily attendance is necessary. It's mandatory. If we try to call on you and you're not here, we're going to notice you're not here. There's not so many students in this class, so we're probably going to really notice.
We will.
And also, if you don't, this is preaching to the people that are here, but if you don't come within like the first week or two, usually you get dropped from your courses if you don't show up. So be careful with that. It covers material from 3 courses. We're going to do group activities. People are going to depend upon you to do your work. So there's no such thing as an excused absence. An absence is an absence is an absence in this class is the way they count it. And so the reason's kind of irrelevant. You either here, you're not.
And we do drop a certain number, like if even of like, I forget how many, but we do drop some. So like if you didn't turn something in and it was really an emergency, we don't take it late, but we drop several assignments. So
yeah,
account for that.
With that said, if you are missing a day or something, try to get your work like maybe turned in early if you possibly can. That's always something. That's a little easier to do now that we've thrown everything online, to be honest. You could always like try to tell us something. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can always make a sort of attempt, to turn in something and explain why you didn't get it turned in if you have a sort of valid excuse, right? The worst we can do is tell you, no, we're not going to grade it, right? It's sort of like gaming strategy. If you don't do anything, then you're not going to get any points. If you do something, you might get some points, right? Okay. So expectation.
Not at the last minute. Not like 5 seconds before the test or anything.
Or don't like try to turn in all your assignments the day before the final or anything.
No, I mean,
like
we may be a little.
Yeah, that doesn't
like
work
if we haven't graded everybody's, and we might go, okay, well, we'll take yours late. But if we have, we won't.
Okay, so Tyndall sessions, arrive on time, participate. There's the hand raise tool. We talked a little bit about that. You can make a little symbol. We'll get to you eventually. Here's another thing. Keep chat appropriate. I don't know if you realize it, but we get chat logs of everything you're saying to everyone in these chats. Even if it's a private chat that you're doing in between two people, we see that. Okay. To give you a heads up on that one, don't be writing stuff. It's like you got written evidence against you at that point. That's not very smart, right? No.
And also, guys, I just want to say this, just because in the last class that I taught, we had kind of some issues with politics. You don't know what anyone else thinks or believes, so don't just assume anything and say, blurt it out, because you can really offend people, and that's not what we're wanting to do.
Okay, some written homework. So we have written homework. I don't know if you've looked at the homework, but the homework comes in like a form of worksheets. It's got a few numbers at the top of the homework that are practice problems from the textbook, and then it's got a few problems on the worksheet itself that are problems that we're going to grade in the full. We're going to grade all your work on them. So the book problems, we're going to do completion by completion, and then the other ones we're going to actually go in and we're going to grade the worksheet.
Let me say one thing, Matthew, about that. The book problems, we intentionally give you the odd problems. They're all ones that you can check in the back of the book. So even though it's completion, if I'm grading and I see that you just have a bunch of wrong answers, I'm going to count them wrong, because you should be able to check your work and they should be right. So just because it's like, okay, it's completion, yeah, but we don't want you just to put anything down. Also, if all you're doing is writing down the answers, that's not going to fly either. So just FYI.
Show your work.
Yeah, definitely show your work. Always show your work. I mean, even in general, like math, and if you get a professor that only cares about your answers in math, get a new professor immediately, right? Math is not about getting to the right answer all the time. It's about the process of getting to the right answer, And there's a sort of a popular sort of analogy, a broke clock is right twice a day. I don't care if you're right twice a day, right? I care if you're keeping time, right?
Right. And especially on tests, if you show your work and you get the wrong answer, I am like partial credit queen. But if you just put an answer down and there's no work, even if it's like just a negative sign that's wrong, I'll just count the whole thing off. So.
And so what is that? Written homework is what we just went over? Okay. Complete practice problems on a separate sheet of paper. So I will talk a little bit more about homework and how we're going to structure this class in a second. And so the book problems, that they want you to do it on a separate sheet of your own paper. And then the worksheet problems, they want you to do directly on the worksheet is what this is basically saying. And then I think it probably says staple them to the back or something. Who knows if they changed that verbiage since we've gone online.
But again, if on the worksheets, if you don't have a printer, then just do it on your own, just put it on your own paper. That's okay. It makes it easier for you if you can print them out and work on them, but if you don't, just do them on your own paper.
Okay, so test policies. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have to add a little bit to the test policies. The thing with the test is we're going to take tests during this class time. And so you should be able to take tests during this class time. You'll see it in the schedule when we get to the schedule, to the calendar. The other thing is that I'm going to have to throw in here, we're going to have to do them in this thing called the Respondus Lockdown Browser. I'm going to have to personally read like more information about that, to be honest. I'm not exactly sure how that works quite yet, so I'm going to have to read a little bit more into that, and then I'll let you know like early next week at the latest, how that's going to go. And so the policies that we do have, like if there's a missed exam, like you better be telling us like ahead of time. If there is some freak accident, you better tell us like the second you can, right? Like tell us as soon as you can that if you're not going to make a test. The later you tell us, the less likely we are to accept your excuse, right? And if we have graded the test and handed them back, then you're definitely not taking the test, right? At that point. Okay. Late work. So in general, we don't accept late work. Class participation, you're expected to participate. This is the grading scheme. So this is how we're going to grade things. The first 7 tests in the final exam will make up 85% of your grade. The written homework is going to make up 15%.
There are no quizzes.
Yeah, this is just the general thing. I guess we deleted that word.
Yeah.
And then this is the general sort of an A is a 90 to 100, a B is an 80 to 89. The general sort of grading scheme, right? And I think that makes each test like what, above like 10 points or something? I think they're close to 15, if not. So there are 2 classes here that you're basically taking. And so it's possible that you may not get college credit. You may not pass the 13-14, but it's still possible that you may pass the developmental part and you don't have to take the developmental math anymore, right? You get your credit to go into college math, right? And so there are a few ways you can do that. If you grade average on 1 through 5 is higher than the overall grade average, then the first 5 tests, we can assign you a grade basically based on your first 5 tests is what this is saying. And that grade will be good for the developmental portion of the class. And it looks like that is calculated without the homework factoring in. So just on your first 5 tests, if you pass your first 5 tests, you will get your like completion to take college level math, right? You will get your developmental completion. And so that takes care of your prerequisite for taking like college math. And so if this happened, you would just have to take the 13-14 over again. You wouldn't have to take the developmental portion.
Also, if you get like on the first 5 tests, let's say you had a C average, then that means that for the developmental piece, the lowest you can get is a C. If you do better from there on out, like you wind up somehow getting an A after that, then you'll get an A in the developmental piece. But after the first 5 tests, you know for sure the minimum that you will get for the developmental piece.
Yeah. In general, your grade for this class or for both classes will probably be the same unless you don't pass the 13-14. Then we're going to go back and look at this and see whether you get credit for the 0414, right?
Right.
Yeah. And TSI, that's what I was trying to think of earlier. TSI completion means you're ready to take college level math, right? That was the word I was trying to think of.
Yeah, so if you pass the developmental piece, then you are TSI complete, right?
General course policies, all email communications to students will be sent slowly. So I think that's what basically what it says. If you want to communicate with me, use your ACC email. They really prefer we use ACC email. Partly, I think, is because they have access to it and they know what we're talking about. You know, they have a vested interest in knowing what their professors and students are like kind of talking about. I can kind of understand that. And so they want you to do things through their system, right? And they want you to email through ACC email. I know sometimes people don't always pay attention to what account they're on. Usually, if I know who you are, I will shoot you an email back to your ACC email. I will try to keep things in ACC email, even if you try to take things out of ACC email. I will try to bring things back in, typically. So typically, try to stay in your ACC email. If not, I'm going to try to bring you back to it. More attendance. What does it say? If you miss 10 class days or have an average below 60, you can be withdrawn.
But don't expect us to do that. Some people just go, oh, I haven't been in a while, so the professor's going to drop me. But that's not the case. We have the option to withdraw you, but it's your responsibility ultimately to make sure you're withdrawn.
Yes, that's a good point. There are students that like have just like stop coming to class and they assume the professor's going to drop them. That's not a good assumption to make. You will end up with an F in that class a lot of times. It's not good on your transcript. Withdraw. Okay, so there is a final withdrawal date. If you go to the student calendar and look at important dates, it's on there. ACC has a relatively like really late withdrawal date compared to like a lot of other universities. And usually, I don't want to say we will, because if I don't, but typically we will like usually make an announcement when we get closer. Hey, that withdrawal date's coming up.
Yep.
Okay. If you enroll for a third time, I think they start charging you more, higher tuition fees. What else does it say? There's that whole rule with you can't drop like more than 6 times or something during your undergrad career. So these are all things to think about when you withdraw, I guess. So that's withdrawal stuff. The next thing is the incomplete policy. So this is rarely given. This is like if you end up in a hospital or something and you can't turn in work, you have a valid reason for not turning in work, you might get a grade of an incomplete, and then you still have to make up that work to get a grade in the class. So this is a super rare sort of thing that happens. Personally, I don't think I've ever had an incomplete.
Me either.
Yeah. It's like super rare thing, but it does happen occasionally. So, you know, cover your butt sort of principle. There it is, right? It might happen, but it's probably not. Course specific support. If I'm being honest, I don't know how the learning labs have converted to the online format.
You can. I worked in the learning lab for 2 years before I started teaching, and wonderful tutor. So I don't think, but between the two, because there's 2 of us in this class, I don't really think y'all are going to need a tutor. But if for some reason you think you might, you can talk to me about it, and I can help you get hooked up with one.
I'm assuming they convert to online. Is that?
Oh, absolutely.
See, that's where I started out working for ACC, was in the learning lab as well. So, I guess I got positive things to say about.
Me too.
About the tutoring system here.
That, like I said, because you have 2 professors in this course and only 14 students so far, you're going to get you'll be able to get pretty individualized help if you need it. But from one of us.
Okay, so there's a few things that they just list in here, common course objectives, things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about functions, use interpret functions. So here's some words maybe you can look at. That way when you see them for a second time, they won't seem quite as scary. Polynomial, rational, radical, exponential, logarithmic. Find symbolic representations. Sum, difference, product, quotient. Okay, composing two functions. Okay. A lot of words about things that we're going to talk about in the future, right? Graphing functions, things like what? Quadratic functions, exponential functions, logarithmic functions. All this good stuff. Approximating zeros. Symbolic adeptness. That's a $5 word right there, I feel like. You got to know what these symbols mean, right? Evaluate stuff. Applications. We're going to do word problems. We're going to do word problems with all these different sort of functions that we just talked about earlier. Doubling time, half-life, decay problems. Okay, so that's some of the stuff we're going to talk about. Learning outcomes. I think this is the stuff that they want you to be competent in, to get at least 70% in the following. So demonstrate and understand knowledge of properties of functions, blah, blah, blah. This is everything that we're going to do in the future, right? Okay. This is a lot of stuff. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to bog down with all that. And so I want to look at a weekly schedule just to kind of give you an idea of like what's happening. If you notice, I have these schedules going like day by day, so it should give you a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. And I hadn't really mentioned this, but we're going to kind of do what's called a flipped class in this class. And so what you're going to do for like homework is you're going to go find those videos, and you're going to find the video of the lecture. And so before class Wednesday, I want you to watch the video. And I've only put one video up so far. There will be more in the future. But I want you to go watch the video that says Maricheck Chapter 1 Lecture. And it's on the lecture videos. And I want you to, before you go watch the lecture, I should say, I want you to print out the lecture notes. I want you to watch the lecture and follow along. And so I'm going to work through the lecture notes. And so for homework, you're going to do the lecture. And then when we come to class on Wednesday, what we're going to do in class is we're going to do the homework from your book. And so if you come to class and if you participate in class, you will have a bulk of your homework done. You will have the completion part of your homework done, right? And so I'm hoping that will give you a little less homework to do, right? I don't know. That's maybe I'm saying it in a silly way. But you come to class and you have the completion part of your homework done. The only other thing you have to do for homework then is just those few problems that are on the worksheet itself. And so I want you to look at those problems that are on the worksheet, and I want you to polish those off for homework. And so for before class on Wednesday, you'll watch this. Before class on Thursday, you will have submitted your homework for Chapter 1 on Wednesday. You will have watched the lecture for Maricheck 2.1 before class on Thursday.
And we'll remind y'all. I mean, we'll tell y'all what is the expectations. So
Where are you posting these videos?
You can find the links on Blackboard. The links should be taking you to YouTube.
The Blackboard.
Okay, under video links. Okay, I see it here.
Yes.
Lecture videos, class videos. Okay.
There's going to be lecture videos and there's going to be class videos. So I will also record the classes and post them up on YouTube as well. And so I don't know what to say, but like, if you're not going to class, which you should be, right? If there's some reason that you can't make class, there's not a lot of reason not to go back and watch class, right? You could always go back and watch it if you're confused about something. And so I know there's like there's advantages and disadvantages to everything going online all of a sudden, right? But one of the advantages is that we have videos that we can like sort of like watch through. We can go back, and like I am like one of the most god awful people like to watch probably TV shows with, because this is totally what I do when I watch TV shows. I will watch something, I'll be like, dang, I just missed that, and I will rewind it and watch that stuff again and again. I'm so horrible at watching stuff sometimes, but the good advantage of that is you can absolutely be that horrible person, and I encourage you to be that horrible person, right? Go watch that video, go rewind that video if you don't understand it. Pause the video before I start working stuff out. And I say that in my video as well. You can pause the video before I start working stuff out. Try to work these problems out on your own. And
It's on Blackboard, right?
yeah, everything should be on Blackboard. The lecture notes are on Blackboard. The lecture video links are on Blackboard. What else am I missing?
The homework on Blackboard also, right?
The homework worksheets are on Blackboard as well. The books, the links to the books are on Blackboard. And so if you notice, the first week the first 2 weeks before test 1, which is next week, we will have a test about every 2 weeks in this class. And so if you notice, everything for test 1 is going to be out of Maricheck. So we're not even getting into Roxwald right away. And if you notice, we start out in Maricheck, and they kind of sort of like start peppering some Roxwald in there. And it eventually just kind of evolves into nothing but Roxwald eventually, I think. It's like a little bit more and more Roxwald as we go along. And so hopefully, I know I'm going through these like, just kind of throwing it up there pretty fast. But you should have a copy of it through Blackboard, right? There is that thing that says syllabus. You can print this thing out. Or you could open it in whatever device you're using. And so we're pretty much booked. I got every day something happening. Up until what? The 12/11 is the last day that we're in here. I even put in your holidays for you. Look at that. Thanksgiving. You want to look at the first holiday, Labor Day, right? That's the first one coming up.
How many days do we get for Thanksgiving?
It's just 2.
Oh, shit.
And I know I did, there's some weird stuff with the test happening around Thanksgiving. And I know you're probably going to call me all sorts of names for putting a test right before Thanksgiving. But then my counter argument is, would you rather have your test right after Thanksgiving when we're doing like 2 weeks of stuff? And I think the answer to that is probably no. It's probably better right before. So we'll see what we're doing there. I know like a lot of people are probably traveling around that time. So if we need to like, I don't want to say too much, but if dates don't work for you, you can always try to schedule something beforehand, right? You can always try to take a test early. It's better to take a test early than to chance being given it late, right? We may or may not let you take it late. And with that said, like we're going to learn most of test 7 stuff way ahead of then. So if that's something that you have to take early or something because you got to get out of Dodge, we'll have to get our gears in order and get that done early though. Definitely got to be prepared for it if that's something you want though. And so I haven't put them up there, but you might notice before each test, we're going to have a review. There are test reviews that we have. So if you're going through this and it's just like, it's a new concept each day, right? And it seems like you're going through a lot. We will have those sort of like review days right before the test where we can put everything together in blocks and kind of practice things, right? And I know I went through that real quick. Are there any questions about the class, about how the class is going to work?
When we're watching the video and going over the notes, I know that we're going to bring that back to class, but I mean, what assignment or something goes with that? Or is it just?
So there are lecture notes and then there's a lecture video, and those two things go together.
Okay. So it's really just about understanding it when we come to class.
Yes. And so
Okay.
you should watch the lecture, and like, I'm hoping you get like, you know, a good, like at least like 90% of the lesson into your head somehow, right? And if you don't get everything, I mean, fair enough. You're going through this on your own, trying to figure things out on your own. Bring those questions to class, right? We're going to do homework in class is what we're going to do. And
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to do the book work in class so that you'll essentially have half your homework done for you at least, right? And then when you go home, you're going to have to complete the little worksheet problems that are on there for your homework, submit those, and then watch the new lecture, right? That's going to be like your daily sort of homework.
Ah, okay. I see.
Well, you'll submit the homework that we did together in class along with the worksheet. You need to submit both.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely submit both of them. Submit all the work from the book and submit the written work from the worksheets themselves.
Yeah. So that's going to be sort of the how it's going to go through most of the class then, correct? Is where we do these things, do the worksheets, and then in between those we're doing our tests and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. You're going to go home, do the lecture, go through the lecture worksheet, come to class, we're going to do the homework. You're going to finish off the homework for at home, submit it, and then start on the next lecture before the next day.
Okay. All right. Oops.
But I mean, I know it seems kind of weird, but I've had classes like kind of both. I had one class that I flipped and I had one that I didn't. And personally, like the flip class like went way smoother. I don't know how to like else to say it, but it was like way smoother. You have like sort of this experience, you know, of your own, and I think that's more like what you need to be geared towards anyway, right? I'm going to use a $5 word, autodidactic, meaning self-taught, right? That's kind of the goal of like college and education in general. We don't want to sit there and like tell you how to do everything, how to find your sources or what sources to look at. We want to teach you how to find those sources, right? We want to teach you how to teach yourself is sort of the end goal, right? Is for you to become autodidactic. And I feel like this definitely gears people in the right direction because it's making you do these sort of lectures by yourself, right? Before you do it. And so it's good to sort of have like this self-taught sort of thing, but it's also good to come together and make sure that your understanding is solid of it through social connection, right? And just being honest, like I probably like I don't know if I would have got through grad school if I did not have peers. Like they are like one of the most important aspects, and like I'm admittedly not always like, you know, the best at like asking people for help or, you know, social situations. So like if I'm telling you to help to work with people, that's a pretty good indicator that it does something for you, right? It's definitely beneficial to see what other people are doing. That was a lot. I think I almost made the time for today too.
Well, are we going to have them do the practice homework for tonight?
The practice.
Where you had the homework trial run.
The trial run. So the trial run. We talked about it briefly. Did you want to throw them like a point on something maybe?
Well, I would like them to make sure that they can do it just for their own peace of mind.
Yeah, I think it would be beneficial for people to try the trial run.
If you go to the homework if you go to in Blackboard and look at the homework worksheets, the very first one says homework trial run. And that's just some little easy thing that you can do and submit just to make sure that you know how to do it. And then I would personally like, there's also under that first tab, that first homework worksheets, there's a math background paper. You don't have to do this, but I like to read them and just see what you think, like, what are your experience with mathematics? Why are you taking this class? Are you planning to go into engineering? Or are you just, are you just want to get through as quick as you can and just get your math credit behind you? So the math background paper is something you don't have to do, but I personally would like to read it if you care to do it.
You said Blackboard, right?
Yes, if you look at the if you look on Blackboard on the far left in the blue column, it says homework worksheets, and the very first one is it says homework trial run, and there's a homework trial run, and then there's a syllabus scavenger hunt, but Matt did a really good job of going over the syllabus, so you don't have to do that. And then there's a math background paper that just basically just like, what kind of experience have you had with math in the past? How do you feel? Are you confident? Are you, I know personally, I didn't start out a math major at all. I started out an English major, but I wound up being a math major because I wound up helping all my friends in math classes. So I honestly, when I got my master's degree at UT, I thought some of my high school math teachers are probably rolling around in their grave right now, because I was not, up till I got into college, I really wasn't a math person.
Which side on the left side? Sorry if I cut you off. Which?
No. Go ahead.
Where on the left side of the Blackboard is the homework?
Can you let me share the screen, Matt?
Yeah.
I can share the screen right quick if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So if I share my screen, I believe your homework should be like here where it says class documents. You got your syllabus. You got your lecture notes to go along with the lecture. And here's the homework worksheets.
And we do the trial run?
Yeah, the trial run.
That's the trial run. And so you're going to click on trial run, and it's going to bring up like this thing. Favorite animal, and pick a number between 1 and a million.
Oh.
And so that's the PDF it brings up. If you want to submit it, you're going to have to submit it over here in written assignments. And you go to homework trial run. It's going to be a file on your computer. You're going to have to find that file on your computer with this thing, right? And you attach the file and you submit it.
Basically, just do it and go to it's called written assignments, I think.
Written assignments, yes.
Yeah,
Under submitting assignments.
Find the PDF on your computer and then you submit it, basically.
Yep. Right, and if you do the math background paper, go ahead and submit that at the same time. If you don't do it, it's not that big a deal. But it's always interesting to me to read people's experiences with mathematics. So does everyone understand how to submit their paper or the homework? Yes. And if we don't see yours submitted, then we can then we'll know you're having issues and we can.
Yeah, we'll be here tomorrow too to figure things out. And so if you look at the schedule, we're kind of like tomorrow. I put it on there, figure it out. And so basically, I think for tomorrow, for the most part, I'm going to try to get like. I'm hoping if you're together, you're going to go and print everything out, right? That you need to print out before the test.
But some of them don't have printers, probably.
Yeah, if it'll give people time to kind of get organized for the class is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And we'll be here in the class if you want to come check and make sure your assignment got submitted and that we can see it. You can come ask us during class too tomorrow. And that's kind of why I have it open, is like to make sure we can get like all the technical aspects and the online aspects of this course kind of ironed out before we actually have to start doing stuff for a grade, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Make sure you know how to access the book. Make sure you are comfortable with submitting papers. Make sure that that the online part of the course isn't going to cause you the issues.
make sure my Blackboard links work. If they don't work, let me know. Because there was some issues with the Rockswald book, and so y'all might want to double check. I know we're not getting to Rockswald till later, but if someone could double check those links from like the student perspective, that would be helpful as well.
My Blackboard looks different. It's not on here.
On Blackboard for Rockswald?
No, the homework stuff.
If you go to homework worksheets, is that where you're going?
Nah.
Because it should be here. Let me share my screen again. It should be under homework worksheets, right? Is this not coming up?
I mean, mine looks different than yours. That's why.
Because this is the student preview mode. This is should be what it looks like to you. If you go under class documents and you click homework worksheets, does it not come up?
No, like I said, mine looks different than yours. Like there's not the same tabs and stuff like that. Even though I clicked Blackboard on the Austin
Are
CC.
you in the right? Are you in the college? There's two. Well,
I'm in my ACC. I went through my ACC and just clicked Blackboard.
Okay, so you gotta click on the college algebra course. It should say like college algebra, math 1314.
So go to where it says courses. Oh no, I see what you mean. My courses, and then go to algebra 08. All right.
And so everything is going to be under my course because technically you're in 2 classes, right?
Yeah.
We're going to use the Blackboard for my course, so that is a good thing to like mention.
Yeah, mine is not. They can't see mine. I've made it to where they can't see it. So
okay.
There should be no confusion there.
So basically, just go to homework worksheets, and then after that, just submit assignments and written assignments, and then be good to go.
Right.
Those are
Nice.
Is the campus open to print stuff out if we need to?
No. That's why I'm saying if you can't print stuff out, you can just do it on your own paper.
Yeah, you can write the problem down by hand and work things out. We'll still give you credit for it.
But like if we write it on paper, don't we have to scan it so we can submit it or not?
You still have to scan it.
Yeah, but you can scan it with your phone. The Genius app where you can take a picture with your phone, and it will convert it to a PDF to submit it.
Yeah.
I think. Any more questions?
Matthew, will you stay on with me for just a minute after they've left so I can show you something?
Yeah, I was gonna. I'm getting for. Oh.
Oh.
This one over here, someone asked about him earlier. This one's Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka's the chocolate one, and this one's Genie.
Oh. They're so cute.
Looks like you feed him pretty good.
Yeah, he's a little sausage dog. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? No,
And if you have any issues, you can ask us tomorrow, or you can try to, you can contact me today via email or phone number. So.
Yeah, I'll have office hours today too. From was it 10:30 to? God, I gotta look what my office hours. 10:30 to 11:30 is what I'm doing.
No, it's basically just assignments, and then after that, just go to written assignments and then submit it from there. That's it.
That's right.
Yeah. And then before Wednesday, you'll have to watch the lecture and go through the lecture worksheet, right?
And you might want to look at it in advance. I mean, just so you can tell us, like, if you're having trouble hearing it or, whatever. Just,
because
check it out.
So, and that's like what's the name of the video again?
So if you go to Blackboard, it will have the link on there. It says, It's the video links. It says lecture videos, and if you click on lecture videos, it should bring up the YouTube to where everything is.
Uh-huh.
And you can click like, subscribe, whatever you want to do, all the good stuff. You can comment in there, like, what the heck is this guy talking about?
Oh,
here?
lecture videos, and then just click that video, whatever.
Yeah, it should bring up YouTube, hopefully. I have like 2 playlists in YouTube. One of them should be the lecture videos, and one of them should be the class videos. You can subscribe to those playlists or whatever you do. Use the online format to your advantage as much as possible.
Right.
Yeah. Hover with your little finger over the space bar. Get ready to pause it. All right. I think I'm going to hit stop on the record. I think we're hitting 10:20.